Then it's being used to kill the Night King. I mean, that thing's got like a...
Yep.
On eBay, you could sell that dagger for a whole lot of cash.
If it could talk.
Westeros eBay.
Yes.
Buy a house with it. Hey, Internets. It's Paul. It's Matt, the Dork Lords. We are here talking about Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 3, The Long Night. All right,
The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight. Well, on the superhero realm, we could have been talking about Avengers Endgame.
Sure.
This weekend was chock full of nerd goodness.
Yes.
We're going to talk about that later in the week.
Sure.
But this was so good and so fresh in our memories, we're talking about this first.
Right.
The Long Night. Bop, bop, bop. Okay.
That is who?
Bonkers. It's a bonkers episode. It
Yes.
was like, poof, everything turned up to 11.
Sure.
Long episode, obviously, near an hour and a half. Basically, feature length.
Yep.
Just like a short feature, but a feature.
Sure.
Lots of medieval violence.
Yes.
What did you think, sir? Before we launch into
I
specifics.
liked it, even though I don't think I've ever mentioned on this podcast or this broadcast there that when I have anxiety watching a show, it's like, oh, this is really. I turn on the volume. So most of it I didn't hear.
So you watched the silent movie.
That's right.
Okay.
But yeah, I had the little captions on so I could see what people are saying. Ah!
I do keep the captions on because I think it is interesting to see, but I listen to it.
Yeah, I didn't listen.
Like for instance, when the captions revealed that
this was like so intense. This thing, even with not any sound, I was still like, this is so really tough to watch.
But so you missed the music is the thing. The music really did help sell
And
the battle.
The voices.
And the grunt, ouch, ouch.
Yep.
But for instance, those captions
like,
capture
ooh,
things
dragon
like
sounds.
when Melisandre is doing her ritual chants and stuff. It'll
Yes.
say like in Old Valyrian.
Actually, I
or
think
something
I
like
did
that.
listen to that part because I was like, oh, what is she? Because that was cool.
Melisandre shows up. We kind of thought that was. I think in the comments from last week's recap, people were theorizing that was going to happen, and in fact,
You were right.
In fact, I'll just jump to that real fast because my thought was I was kind of sure that Arya was going to die in this episode, and the one thing keeping me from saying for sure she was is that there was the thing of Melisandre said, "We'll meet see each other again." Yeah. So I'm like, well, then she shows up and they lock eyes. And I'm like, yep, Arya's dead. Yeah. That was it. And no, I didn't do it. So well done, show. You led me down path A and you went path B.
Well,
okay.
Fooled Matt.
Fooled me. My one, I'll say,
just one
minor complaint.
Okay.
Would be. And I've seen this echoed from other folks. For my TV, it was a bit dark. Not the tone. Tone was fine. Tonally dark. I expect that. Visually, my TV started pixelating. It was like there's black, and then there's darker black, and a slightly lighter black. So yeah, it was blooming. I was like,
not for me. Watched it on my iPad. It was just fine.
Very good, sir.
Just the right amount of pixelation.
Just the right amount of pixelation.
That's right. Blacks and
I'm playing like an 8-bit Nintendo. I got it.
Mauves or whatever. It's like, yeah.
And I understand, it was intentional. They were trying to do like, hey, fog of war. This is at night, and also there is a fog coming in, and so there was a lot. They were trying to be obscure, but maybe a slightly like 2 notches less obscure would have been nice for me. Anyway, but some amazingly effective scenes, not the least of which is when the Dothraki make the ill-advised cavalry charge.
Yes.
So Melisandre shows up. How did she get past the Night King? I don't even know. But she shows up from the direction of the Night King.
That's true, yeah. Well, she is magic.
That's true. She's like, da-da-da-da.
And maybe she took off her necklace, so she's like,
oh, good point. Zombie. Okay, fine. I'm good now. That's as good a theory as any.
Yeah.
So she shows up. She, the cool lighting up of the swords was neat. Plus, I liked fire because it meant I could see things. Fire! Yay! That's like a color. And then, they decide to charge. Now, charge of the Light Brigade, famous ill-advised charge. This was a horribly ill-advised charge. There's really no reason for them to charge. In this situation, the more time you've got, the better, frankly. Like, why accelerate things?
Yeah.
Hey, they're just standing over there. Attack them and force them to kill us. And so that's what they did. But it's so well done because they don't show the fight. They just show them riding off in the distance, and your perspective is from the castle. And the idea that, like, oh, these guys can kick axe, and they have the fire, which means they can take down the whites, and this is going to be kill. And then the lights just flicker out. And it's not even, you hear them yelling, but it's more their, like, war whoops. And then suddenly it's not like, it's just whoop, silence. Like, and you can just feel the morale of the entire castle go, boo, just fall into an abyss because they're like, oh, wow. Not only are they dead, now they're going to fight us. Eventually, I mean, like, the idea that they'll be raised.
They didn't have
we didn't see that, but
no.
I would be thinking it if I'm behind the. Like, oh, great!
No,
we just lost
I don't think you would, because then you wouldn't tell everybody to go down to the crypt.
It's true. The crypt thing did turn into an actual thing. Thank goodness it wasn't a pivotal thing. Like if that had been the thing that turns the tide or something like that, I'd have been like, really, you guys didn't think of that? But I'll just forgive them for not thinking of it because it was just a minor plot point, really,
there you go.
As it turned into.
Yeah, it was just making
turn into a little horror show.
Sansa and Tyrion a little more frightened.
Yeah, contemplate their own mortality.
Yeah, Gilly is really good at keeping her baby safe.
Right.
Get away. Don't touch
Clutch
my
the football.
Baby. Yep.
Heisman.
Yep.
I guess maybe even in some ways, where else are they going to go? I don't know. Like,
well,
the crypts are bad, but where else would I put you?
Like, put them in the crypt,
tower, or
exhume everybody in the crypt, cut off their limbs and heads,
or burn everything in there, maybe in the crypt.
Right, but
I think some stuff's like sealed up in stone.
Right, but if there's a bunch of arms flapping around, what are you gonna do?
Burn the arms. Burn the arms.
Just you want to burn everything.
Just burn their arms and legs, and then they're just torsos, and then they can't do anything.
Could be like entertaining.
Oh, look, that's great Uncle Horace. Oh, he's funny now that he has no arms and legs.
Yeah.
No, so I mean, it killed some red shirts, some peons got killed down there, but nobody of note.
And that little girl survived, didn't she?
As far as we know, yeah. Did we see her shot of her? I don't know. Sure, why not?
I will protect you. Okay.
Where's the protect? We need it. You said you'd do it. Just jump in there. So yeah, in fact, I would say the notable death count was a little lower than I anticipated. I mean, there were some notable kills,
I agree with that.
As far as A-listers, I don't think any A-listers were taken out.
I mean,
who's an
Theon,
A-list?
I would say
is he an
A-list. Yeah, why not?
I'd give him like a B.
I mean, they gave him enough time to be tortured and everything.
Well, sure. I agree. I mean, he's
he
near
betrayed
the top,
them and
but
everything.
he's not a Stark.
And what's his name too?
Lannister.
Her old hand.
Yeah. So that's right. Jorah. And Theon and Melisandre are probably your three, like, most notables.
Yeah.
You've got then Lady Mormont.
Yeah, that's true.
Goes out.
Yeah, who, afterwards, you see the interview, like, we kind of only thought of her for one show, but everybody loved her so much.
Yeah.
He kept bringing her back, and now it's time to get rid of her.
We'll kill the kid.
People are saying, oh, you're not going to kill, but we'll kill her.
Oh, yeah. Killed her, taking out a giant white.
Yeah, that was good.
Stabbed him in the eye.
Good moment there.
She had her heroic death scene.
Yeah, she did. And got to be
Beric.
Beric
Dondarrion.
It's another one.
Not an
A-lister. You feel like someone who's died so many times.
Yeah,
you could argue that he's died.
So we see
more than enough.
What that's coming to pass. That Melisandre showing back up for this fight, and Beric sacrificing his sword and then himself basically to save Arya, and then Melisandre says, "Yep." We brought him back all these times so he could do this thing. No need to bring him back again.
He's not he's not that big either. At one point he's like, we can't get around him. He's
the Christ imagery, right? I mean, he was standing in the doorway, and they were like, we can't. And then go under.
Yeah, go around.
There's a gap. But yes, he heroically sacrifices himself to save Arya, and we find out why that Arya is foretold. Melisandre and Bran both know that she's supposed to kill him, I think, the Night King.
Oh.
I would say Melisandre knows because she does the whole thing with, remember when I told you you'd be killing people with brown eyes, green eyes, and blue eyes?
Oh.
What do we say to the Lord of Death? Not today. And that's when Arya starts running off.
Right.
So she's like, you're the person who's supposed to kill. That's why I'm here. That's why Beric saved your life. You're the one destined to kill this Night King.
Oh, what do we say? Oh, I didn't get that before. I was just sort of thinking, like, that's what you were told when you were a kid.
Yeah,
so we'll tell you that now. And also, you could.
She knows it'll be effective.
Right. Yeah. And at the time, yes, true.
Go.
Like, I guess you could say that the last time she heard that, it was like, you run because you're not going to die today.
Okay, good point.
Yeah, I'm going to fight today.
All right.
Today's a good day for me to die.
All right. No, good point.
In Klingon fashion.
But I got
But no, you're right. Maybe she was saying that in a way. That's death. So you should be saying you're not going to die today. That guy's
you're not going to win
today.
Yeah. Death won't take his prize.
Right.
So there's a Melisandre
But it makes you think like, oh, you can run away, and she's like, okay, I will. But no, I will.
And she was running towards the Godswood, is what she was doing. So we also Bran is the one who gave her that Valyrian steel dagger, the one that ends up killing Night King. He's his lines to Theon, while they are touching in a way, where he's like, all of your actions brought you here, home, where you belong.
Right.
It seems like he's like, you belong here to help me until Arya could show up and stab.
It's like, we've got this plan wherein most of our forces are going to be protecting the castle. And a small force is going to be protecting Bran in this forest. And is that the most effective? Like a bunch of arrows?
No, it is not.
What the hell?
Because once you get in close range, which
they do eventually.
If you shoot any, if you've got 10 guys running at you, you can shoot 4 of them.
Yeah.
But so imagine 100. Yeah. You're like, you're not.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was like,
it was a dumb way to try to keep you right.
And then he ran out of arrows. And he's like, I hit you with my bow.
Arrows were a little expensive, and we decided to skimp on the arrow budget, so I just had 10. I figured that'll be plenty, right? How big can this army be?
He could have had 100, and it wouldn't have been enough.
Exactly.
It could have been like, this is all the arrows that we've ever had, and it would have been like, whoa.
So, but he does he's a very good archer. He Legolas's the crap out of that thing.
Yes, he does.
Checker. He goes out very heroically.
He does.
And he gets the thank you from Bran there as kind of a nice send off. But it does feel like Bran is also knowing, like when Bran does his warging thing, green sight, and he summons the ravens, and then the ravens kind of get in the way of the Night King. The Night King then true sights himself. Like, I get the idea that Bran is just saying, here I am. He's trying to let the Night King know where he is, so the Night King will then track him down. But that seems like his whole contribution to the battle was just, let me try to sit here and let the Night King know I'm here. I think. I don't know. That's what I got it. What was his true sight doing if not? I mean, he didn't reveal anything. It wasn't like, cool. It's going really badly for us. Got it.
Yeah, I mean, he only gets credit if he knew that Arya was going to be the one. And, and he didn't prepare her for it at all either.
Right. Could be one of those, spoiler alert, endgame kind of things where you do the, if I tell you the future, then it won't come to pass kind of things.
Right.
Doctor Strange.
Right. Yeah.
So maybe that's a thing. I don't know.
That's stupid.
Well, let us know in the comments what you think. Did Bran? I think Bran was able to see the future in this moment. At least glimpse what was going to happen. Otherwise, he's an idiot. And, I'll just sit here in my wheelchair unprotected and just hope people show up and help me. We did call.
Well, they were inspired to help him. We want to kill that guy.
I was just saying. I was like,
we're going to get killed by all these zombies unless we kill him. You're going to kill Bran? I'll stop it.
So, we did talk about it in the last episode. While, I was spectacularly non-committal, I did say I could be convinced that the Night King would die in episode 3. because
I think I was thinking like by the next episode.
Right, you were like maybe
because you didn't want to have the 2 is ridiculous. 1 episode where it's like, and we'll wrap up
everything. Yeah. But in this case, it
so
it does
was
go
more
back
right
to,
than I thought.
You were. So yeah, the idea that this isn't a story about overcoming the Night King.
No.
This is a story of Westeros and it's who's going to rule it, and this game of houses. And so, I mean, theoretically, that's what's going to happen. I don't know. I mean, unless there's some weird back way that I don't know. The Night King comes back. Just kidding.
Yeah.
So I think that threat has been completely alleviated for now. And so now Cersei is our big villain. I have a feeling that sacrificing so much and fighting alongside each other in this fight is what then unites these groups.
Right.
And all these previous squabbles, well, there might be a squabble or two. They'll be like, got it. All right. We fought and died together here. We had this big victory. Now we're together.
I guess. I mean...
Except for, obviously, Daenerys and Jon personally might have their problems. But.
Right. And, not Cersei, Sansa, still might, once she finds out that if she finds out that Jon is the rightful heir, she might not want to,
I think Sansa will be going forward will represent the Starks, is my guess.
Oh, yeah, right. But I mean, she's questioning whether or not she wants to bend the knee, right?
Right.
So.
And she doesn't.
Yeah.
Answer: she doesn't.
We'll see.
But there was some interesting conversations there with Tyrion, where the two of them are down in the crypts, and she's like, "Yeah, you were the best of my horrible husbands." Between Ramsay and Joffrey, you were pretty awesome. But I did like that moment when the crypts are spilling out, and I thought I had a tough read. It was an unspoken scene there where she's holding the dragon glass dagger. I guess Tyrion had one too. And I was almost getting the idea that they were about to do a suicide pact.
Yeah, me too. I got that impression too.
Like, do I kill you first? Or I don't know. It was like, but they had that little moment of like, and then Tyrion ran off, I guess, to, fight and die, perhaps, as he saw it. And Sansa waits there, but so yeah, I didn't know what that moment was saying. Like, do we just go die? Do we kill ourselves? Do we what?
Right, I don't know.
It was but it was meaning. It was filled with tension.
Import, yes.
Yeah. Obviously, the Arya was kicking axe pretty much the whole episode.
Yes.
And she with her pole arm that could detach, and she was killing everything. And then she has the, creeping through her old homestead, the library with all the whites in it, although we were commenting like there weren't that many whites there for one, and there were also like were they trying to check out some books? It was like, like they weren't just shambling aimlessly. It seemed like they were like looking in the aisles. Oh, hey, look, there's the Encyclopedia Britannica. I'll just pull that out. Oh, look, I'm in there. Anyway, so they that was a very effective horror type scene in the middle of this. I thought they did a great job at balancing. It wasn't just mass fighting. It wasn't it's 1,000 on 1,000 and we'll just fight forever. It was fight, moment of quiet, then back to something else, and then the dragon battles, the dragons hovering above the clouds. I thought that was some beautiful stuff. Now when they actually fight, it was a little confusing.
Right, yeah.
It was like, one's biting another's neck. I don't know. Something bad's happening.
Are they able to fly when they're doing that?
Yeah. I was right on the Dragonfire does nothing to the Night King scenario, which made sense. But when she's like, Dracarys, and she's got the happy look on her face, and then they wait. I'm like, don't wait. It was kind of like it's like the Last Jedi thing when Kylo shoots all the stuff at Luke.
Yes.
They're waiting to see
the smoke to clear, and like, no, just standing
there. He is. Right. So, sure enough, the Night King's just standing there. But I was expecting the ice spear to come shooting out of the fire, and so could have panned out particularly poorly for her.
Yeah, could have indeed. Did both of the dragons make it out?
They did. I wasn't sure of that, but in the trailer for next week, it shows both of the dragons swimming around the air. So answer yes. I thought because Rhaegal has that really awkward landing, knocks Jon off, and you're like, I don't think we ever see him again after that.
And that was great with the zombies. He was like,
oh man, that was very cool. So Drogon lands and is doing his shooting fire everywhere, and then the zombie horde starts jumping on him, and they convinced me he was in real trouble. Yeah, and he struggles to take off, and then after that, it looks great when it's just raining zombies. Yeah. That was pretty sweet. I say zombies, whites, whatever. But
zombies.
With the white, because you see them even in the next scene.
Yeah.
John's running, and there's just bodies falling from the sky. It was really sweet.
Should have had somebody just like, ah.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to that. The fact that you could, as a writer, like write that scene down. Oh, there's a big dragon, and then there's a bunch of whites that jump on it, and then it struggles to take off, and then it does, and then the bodies fall off. For you to write that and then actually complete it in a visual context and be that successful at it.
It makes me wonder if it was just like, the zombies jump on the dragon and he gets away, and like someone ran like, is it possible for them to hold on to the... Yeah, we could do that.
Sure, why not? Okay, fine.
And then from the fall down, like rains. Yeah, we could do that.
Okay, yeah. So the Night King, obviously, most of his strategy is very effective. He brings in this winter storm, which conceals the battlefield so that the dragons can't just keep doing strafing runs. And he's obviously got the superior forces, and then he raises all of the previously dead folks.
Yes. He waits a while.
So but then he gets cocky with you start seeing the cockiness when he gets hit with the dragon fire and he smiles back.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, he's a little sure of himself there. Yeah. And then just the long drawn out procession.
Good reason to be cocky.
True, he does have good reason. But with the whole Bran thing, so assuming that was his purpose, which we'll take Bran's word for it, I want to kill Bran.
Right.
Like, there's so many easier ways to kill Bran. Or you could have had the whites just pile in and kill him.
Presumably turn him, though, right? You probably want him to be on your side.
But you could kill him first and then turn him, right? I mean, that's the thing that seems to be able to do. We didn't get a definitive answer that the Night King needed to kill Bran himself.
Yeah.
That's what there's a suggestion of that.
Yeah, sure.
But without knowing that, you're just like, just send in 5,000, whites and just take him out.
Right.
As it was, they had this big procession. All the White Walkers show up and then hang out. We've been told by the boss. We're just standing here.
Yeah. At that point, it's like, they're not charging Theon.
Nope. Yeah, in fact, there was even that moment when, Theon is alone. There's ungodly numbers ahead of him, and the Night King and White Walkers. So he knows he's dead at that point. But he's standing facing them, and then it's Bran's talking to him like, Theon. And I'm like, you're gonna make him turn around? But so Theon turns to look at him, and I'm like, oh my god, these are very patient. Whites
they
out
are.
There. They're like, I'll let him talk.
Yeah,
it's fine. Do your last spiel. You done? Okay.
Yeah.
Now you can charge him.
Like, let him talk. Give him the last words.
So yes, he does his death charge, but all that takes so long that it takes just long enough for Arya to make it from the castle, inside the castle out to the Godswood.
Yes.
I did like the touch of. I was wondering in that moment, like, how is this going to get resolved in a good way? You see the Night King going for his sword. It's all in slow motion, and Bran's just sitting there. I thought maybe Bran was going to go, ha ha, but from his wheelchair, but he's just staring at him, and I'm like, well, this dude. Yeah. If you do dragon fire now, you're going to hit Bran, so they can't be that. They're not that precise on the fire.
No, they're not.
So. The little hint, it was the white, there was one of the White Walkers standing there, and you see his hair kind of go, like something has just gone past his head that, like, brushed past his hair. And he kind of looks, and we don't see what he's looking at, but you're like, something is happening, very quietly. And then the next thing you see is, like, Super Leap Arya comes down. Then she does the cool bit, of course she had the dagger, that Brienne had given her. But it's the same trick that she did with Brienne when she was training with Brienne in the last season. When she did the little hand switch.
Yeah.
So she does the same hand switch. And takes him out, which I thought was a kind of a cool callback to that. But that dagger, I mean, you think about what that's the dagger that was attempted to assassinate Bran. Littlefinger had it forever. Then Bran got it, then gave it to Arya. She killed Littlefinger with it. Then it's being used to kill the Night King. I mean, that thing's got like a... on eBay, you could sell that dagger for a whole lot of cash.
If it could talk.
Westeros eBay.
Yes.
Buy a house with it.
Sam... remarkably is still alive.
He has plot armor.
In fact, what is it? Ed is his buddy's dead?
Oh yeah, that's true. We didn't mention Ed. So
Ed who could actually fight.
Ed pretty much died saving his life.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, because Sam was like, "Oh, I'm just rolling around here, dude."
Making snow angels.
Yeah. It's interesting that Sam was given, the option to go into the crypts last episode. Yes. And he's like, no, I'm going to be out here and fight.
Yeah, he might have been more helpful in the crypts, actually. I think he could have taken on those.
Almost like he was pretending to be dead for a lot of that episode. Yeah. Like he was just laying on the pile.
And the Hound. Look at the Hound. He was sort of like, what am I? I'm just going to stand here until it's all done.
The Hound, you give him a little more leeway because we know he's pathologically afraid of fire, and there was a whole lot of fire going on.
That's right.
But that was a cool moment because also he had checked out. You're right. He's like, it's impossible. These odds are insane. No, we're all dead.
And like,
and it's Beric's like,
know,
look at Arya fighting.
Why would Beric know that?
Well, I think what he was saying is, look at Arya. She is also fighting this. She has the same odds as us as living, and she is choosing to fight.
You don't know that. You're not saying he had any special insight into their relationship. He was just saying, "Oh yeah, well that little girl's kicking ass."
I think he did know about their relationship.
Okay, all right.
I think he probably heard about it. The Hound had mentioned it or something at some point. I think he was aware.
All right.
I thought you meant did he know the prophecy or something?
No.
Did he know that Arya would be
No.
I think he was just trying to find some inspiration for how the Hound to fight.
Right. Okay.
So he's like, look, her. Because you also remember the episode before, last episode, when Arya says to him, "You never fought for anybody but yourself," and the Hound says, "Well, I fought for you."
Right, but was Dondarrion there for that?
I don't know. Well, he did show up actually.
I know, but
after.
That's what I'm saying.
But point being, it shows that sensibility of his that he would fight for her, and so seeing her in trouble. And
I just didn't know if he was aware of it. That's all.
Yeah. So yes, Ed goes down. Fighting, and the threat of the Whites is now apparently completely gone.
Yeah, it appears that way.
My only regret on that is I would like to know more about their culture, their history, the setup of the White Walkers, like that weird ice castle that they've got where they turn the Craster's kids. Like,
right.
At this point, if you just went to it, it would just be fan service. It'd be like, this has no bearing to the rest of the story, but I don't know if you knew this, but the cat... So we probably aren't going to get any more backstory of that, but, so be it.
Right. I mean, the previous time where they were having that difficulty, though, I don't know. I mean... Is this really the last, or is it, is it possible that another, I guess...
Oh, I see what you mean. Thousands of years from now, there'll be another one?
Yeah.
Maybe? Or does the Night King have to pass down his powers to somebody else? Or is it just like when the time comes, another Night King gets formed?
Right.
We don't necessarily know that, I guess. I get the feeling that it is over.
Could be over. I mean, that's why I was curious about the, the forest people that made him. To what extent are they still around?
Right. We've got this idea, I think, from the books of the Isle of Faces, but that hasn't shown up at all in the TV show.
Because if you look at what the show is doing in terms of what you were saying in terms of combining forces that previously were at odds with the wildlings and
the wild things,
and the Dothraki and the Unsullied and all that stuff, all working together. Of course, after this, battle is done, then you could assume that they all get along, but maybe they wouldn't.
Well, right. I think there's a brief honeymoon period, right? There's probably like a month,
right?
4 weeks where they're like, Yeah, and then they'll start going back to grumbling. But there's going to be more fighting to have to be done in that 4 weeks, so I feel like they're going to
Right. I mean, I'm not excited about, Cersei. I mean, I'd like to see what resolves with Cersei, but with her, the uncle.
Euron?
Yeah, Euron there. I'm not impressed with Euron.
Euron is kind of a mustache twirly villain right now. He's not really,
so unfortunately,
realistic person.
It's like so. Really, it seems like what they're setting you up for is more the battle, or at least the question of whether or not it's going to be Daenerys or Jon or Sansa or.
Right.
Maybe I guess they'd have to work hard to convince Arya to do it.
So
she's like, this fighting's good.
That's right. Arya just kills everybody important.
Yeah.
Kills Cersei
go ahead.
She kills Euron.
Take your crown.
She single-handedly takes out the Golden Company. Single biggest shock of the episode for me: Grey Worm lived.
Oh yeah,
that dude. He had dead man walking written all over him.
Well, and it seemed like let's make her a knight before she dies.
Right, Brienne survival too. We talked about that, but even more so,
and
Grey Worm.
Tomlinson.
Tom Tomlinson. All right, everybody knows him. Tormund. Giantsbane.
Tormund, he lived.
Yeah, and it was kind of tough to tell if he was. It was like it was so dark, and then I was like, "There's a guy with a beard. Is that him?"
The one who wanted to kill Melisandre 3 or 4 times.
Oh, Davos.
You could have killed him.
Could have killed him. I'm glad I didn't kill Davos. I have a soft spot for Davos.
Is he? Well, is he? Okay. I mean, is he of any use? Is what I'm telling you.
Yeah, he's an advisor guy though. He's more of a strategist guy.
Yeah, so anybody could do that. Give his lines to Tyrion.
All right. There was a part of me that thought maybe at the end of this that when Davos, because Melisandre shows up and talks to Davos. Davos has a murderistic grudge against Melisandre for being responsible for burning Shireen a lot. She's the one who's like, burn Shireen and you'll get all kinds of good favors.
Yeah.
So he hates her for that.
Yep.
She knows it. She comes and she says to him, hey, I'm going to be dead by morning anyway, so you don't need to execute me.
Yep.
So then mornings come, battle's over, and he sees her walking away, and I thought, is he going to run up and the final death in this is going to be him stabbing Melisandre? It could have been. It was not.
No.
Her power. I think the idea is that the power of her necklace was keeping her alive, and she had used it all in the battle, and so it was about to.
I think she probably figured she'd done all that she was supposed to do, right? Because she said like, "Oh, you have a task. You're supposed to do the task."
Well, it's just that we've seen her take off her necklace before, and it didn't just wink out of existence.
Right. So I think she probably was like, "Okay, that's it, man. I did all I was supposed to do."
Part of me thought that she was going to go,
and she just walked off. Basically took off her clothes and walked in the snow. I mean, it's like
aged and died. I just thought maybe that the power of the ruby. She used all of her life force, essentially making all those fire spells work. And
could have been.
That was the end of things. Maybe not. But it was weird because I thought she was going east to Essos to get help. And that was her purpose for going, so that when she came back, we would see her with, say, other Red Priestesses or something like that. The fact that she returned by herself, I was like, well, why the hell did you leave? Maybe she was trying to charge up her necklace, or she was, I don't know. We're not sure what her
we don't know
what her purpose in going east was. But she could have brought some more
broadening
folks.
her mind.
Yeah, that's right. She was like,
before I die, I've always wanted to see.
I want to get back to that river. Winterfell library before the zombies all check out all the good books. So yes, Davos, right. But yeah, Grey Worm, man. And so they kept showing it from his point of view. Yeah. And he was like, put the helmet on. And I was like, oh man, that dude. How long? How long does he hold on? And damn it if he didn't survive.
No. Yeah,
good on you, sir. Yeah. Defied the expectations on that one.
Yeah, they could have killed some of them.
Thin the herd. But yeah, well, what we are left with is practically zero Dothraki.
Yeah.
If a handful retreated, I guess. Yeah. Maybe they lived.
And some unsullied.
Some unsullied.
I mean, you look at the trailer for the next episode, you wouldn't know anybody was dead at all.
And the castle looks remarkably good, considering that Viserion was just
raising
crushing it. When Jon was being attacked by Viserion, and he stands up at the end, he's like, "Fine, let's do this." I thought maybe there was a chance because we just seen the Night King survive Dragonfire, that because of his Targaryen blood, maybe he would be able to withstand Viserion's Dragonfire.
The way that Daenerys can withstand being on fire.
Right. But we did not see that.
No,
interestingly, I like the fact that Viserion had like a hole in his neck from being attacked by Rhaegal, I think. And so when he was breathing fire, you'd see some of it escaping from the side vents. It was kind of cool. But yeah, they rebuild surprisingly well in the trailer for the next episode.
Just like they don't have any bulldozers or anything for all the dead people. So
well, that's one thing that does look like they're doing is they're burning the dead. They've got a scene where they're standing in front of the castle, and then they've got like
they have to collect them.
Yeah, they got
to in one place.
Wheelbarrows.
Okay,
get them out. Get the little kid out there.
They do have the technology.
Hey, little kid, thanks for saving us. Now time to move the bodies. And so they stack them up like cordwood. They do look like they're ready, whatever, to move on. And you even have some, like a self-satisfied Dany a little bit.
Yeah,
she's like, now for the last war. And everybody's like, yeah! And she's got her dragon and she's petting him.
Yep.
If I was Cersei, playing the strategy here, her strategy has worked out.
Oh, yeah.
She was like, I really hope the dead do arrive, like they say, and they have to fight the dead, and I hope they win, but barely.
Yeah.
And so that way, there's only a couple of guys left, and then I'll attack them and wipe them out. So really, if her strategy holds, she should attack quickly. Like that 20,000 guys should be like hitting Winterfell like the next day or something. Like, all right, and here we go. I don't know if that's going to happen, but as opposed to just sitting back and going, we'll give you guys a few months to recover. You good? You ready?
Right.
Okay, now it's fine. You get a meal or two? You get your dragons healed up? There was no suggestion of that in the trailer. There was like, now we have a bigger fight.
Yes.
Oh, God. But, it is a long episode, so who knows what by the end of the episode will happen. But
man, there's 3 left.
3 episodes left.
So I wonder if they're gonna polish off Cersei in this one, and then head 2 to figure out what.
I laugh, but sure, why not? No, I think Cersei is either the end of episode 5 or an episode 6 death.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's
kind
of what we're looking at. Anyway, what are your thoughts? I know some people were. Upset that the theory of the Azor Ahai prophecy seems to be kind of dead in the water. Whatever. It is what it is. Martin could have put that in his books just to, give some nice color, nice background, depth to his story. Any culture, it's the myths of that culture that really help to give you an insight to them. So maybe he didn't intend for the Azor Ahai prophecy to then come true here as well. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. It'd be interesting, though. Maybe the final judgment on this episode will be decided when George R. R. Martin finally writes all the books. And if his version of killing the Night King is Jon Snow kills Dany and gets a burning sword and ends up killing the Night King with it, then people might be like, boo show! Boo! But, you would think they would have consulted with him about something that it would be weird if there was that big a difference in how the Night King dies between book and show, but time will tell.
Yeah, time will tell.
Time will tell.
Time always tells you.
It does do that. So anyway, there you go, everybody. A very exciting, impactful
episode.
Just the amount of work that went into that.
Sure.
I mean, it really is. It's like you sit there and watch the achievement to just pull that off.
Yeah.
Again, oof. Well done. Well done. So we'll be back with episode 4. We're going to be back talking about Endgame.
Sure.
We're going to talk. We got like 3 Twilight Zone episodes now to cover. We'll get back on Twilight Zone as well, and probably a little Lord of the Rings. So thanks, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.